Well, welcome back, my friends all, to another rousing rendition. Choir Boys Outdoors. Today, we're doing the Red Wolf from Work Tough Gear. This was designed by Vic Lynn. It was made by Vic Lynn at Work Tough Gear. It comes in Bowler K329 steel. It has G10 handle scales. These are green G10 handle scales. I have orange liners. The blade stock is 3/16 at the handle, and it goes all the way down. Now, the blade stock, the blade thickness holds up all the way down to right before the tip, and then it tapers out. So it gives you kind of a reinforced tip. It has a high saber grind, beautifully done, with a micro convex cutting edge. It has a sharpening choil. It's got some light jimping at the top. It does have a 90-degree spine. It has a hidden lanyard hole. It feels insanely comfortable in hand. Now, it has right at 5 1/4 inch on the blade length, 5 1/8 cutting edge. The blade width is 1 inch and 3/8, so it's kind of wide. Gives you a nice slicey grip. It is a drop point. If I hadn't told you that, the handle length, the handle scales are 5 inches. The inner grip is right at 4, I'd say 4 1/8. The handle thickness is 7/8, so it's a good thick handle. Donnie B all day has one of these. His hand fits it very, very well, and Donnie has double X hands. So this knife will actually fit most hands on the planet. This is, to me, a great belt knife. It is a camp knife. It is a hunting knife. It is a fishing knife. Yes, you can use it to defend yourself. You can do anything you need to do with this knife. Work Tough Gear does several things well. All their knives are sharp. They just are. I've yet to see one, and I've tested probably, if I'm being honest, I've probably got 300 to 500 videos on Work Tough Gear. I've probably tested 50 or 60. I have yet to have one that come not sharp, not one time. So their sharpness is on point. They do a phenomenal job with their heat treat. He's spot on with his heat treat. And listen, guys, in regards to a tough tool, these are cutting tools. They make some choppers, right? They do. They make some tough choppers. They make a couple fighters. But this is a belt knife. This is a slicing tool. It'll hold up to some batoning. We're going to do some. It'll hold up to some chopping and feels pretty good in hand. We're going to do some. What I wanted to do is I opened with about 3 or 4 minutes of just cutting industrial materials. I wanted to cut and cut and cut and cut. And while some of it may be redundant, here's the deal, guys. It feels great in hand. The only way I can give you my opinion on it and my honest report on it is to use it. I can't. I'm not to the point in my career yet where I can pick up a knife and do a 25, 30-minute dissertation without using it. I just can't. Maybe one day I'll get there. These are in stock right now on Work Tough Gear's website. Now, before you hasten to type something stupid, I just told you they're in stock on Work Tough Gear's website. And to those of you who always want to take out your frustrations on me with not being able to get one, I don't give a shit. And I'm trying not to be a dick here. This is the second time I'm narrating this video. The first time I sang I Don't Give a Shit to the tune of Jingle Bells, but I felt like that was going overboard. I might use that later. But here's the thing. I try to be as upfront and as honest with you guys as I can. Work Tough Gear is a small operation. It is a Taiwanese business ran by a Taiwanese businessman. This isn't an American company that outsources. These guys make a quality product. I am blessed and I am fortunate. I'll be honest with you, this is the first company that really showed any faith in me. And they have proven themselves, in my opinion, over and over and over and over again. When it comes to this, they make solid knives. And people say, oh, you're a fanboy. Well, sure, I am. Here's where my fanboy, I'm not arguing with anybody over any of it. There's nobody in this knife game on YouTube that has more videos or more experience with work tough gear than I do. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being honest. Nobody cuts more with them. Nobody uses them more. Nobody. So when you say to me, go check out, I don't need to. I don't have to. I respect everybody's opinion as much as I'm going to. And I've told you guys, listen, don't just take all the positivity and the rah-rah. Find you a channel that don't like them. Find you a channel that isn't a fanboy and watch their videos. Put 2 and 2 together. Make smart purchasing decisions. I can tell you this about Vic Lynn. He would appreciate it more than you think. Vic's not out looking for rah-rah fanboys. He just happened to run into one with me, right? He wants honest feedback. That's why I sent a couple of his knives to Donnie, because I know what Donnie's going to say. But that stuff, you need both sides. You need, and to be honest with you, this Red Wolf, I gifted one to Donnie. It's his favorite work tough gear. Why? Because it's a basic knife. It's a drop point that you can't, I mean, there's so much that you can do with this. And my videos fall way short, guys. I try to give you the best look that I can. I try to be as honest with you about my skill set as I can. I try to show you, not tell you. I'm just a fan. And like I said, I know there are a bunch of these on their website right now. They're $155. That's not bad. They can be to your door in like 3 days, 4 days. Nobody's faster at shipping in the world. Nobody. You can ask anybody that. Let's go back to the knife. Right here, I just got done doing it's kind of a modified chest lever cut. No matter how you hold this knife, it's comfortable. Now here, I just wanted to do some chopping, right? I never know what kind of, that's that old crappy wood. But here's the thing. I thought, you know what? Let's just do some quick chops. I got 2 fingers hanging off the back. Now, we're not doing real pop chops. I am chopping just like a buoy or a choppy. I'm holding on to it. And really, truly, honestly, I know that in certain areas I got off track a little bit, but that's kind of the way I'm holding the board there, the log there, the limb there, whatever you wanted to call it. Limb would be best, I guess. And the idea here is just to see how comfortable it is in hand. I can tell you with my hands that are busted and broken up, there was a time or two I had to readjust, but that speaks more to my hands than it does the knife. I used this knife for a lot today, a long time. I never got tired. It never got weary in my hand. It really didn't. I could use this all day long. One day, I'm gonna do a stream. I'm just gonna stream live and just see how long I can use this knife. Let's just use this knife. I like the ergonomics of the knife. It weighs about 16.7 ounces, so it's got some weight to it, right? It's a little heavier than a lot of belt knives this size, but for me, I like that. I like a knife that I can feel in hand. When I have it in a standard grip, just a standard grip, it orients itself to that sweet spot. Knuckles line up perfectly. It just fits really, really well in hand. It locks in. It has a great balance point. In fact, the balance point, I would say, is about 1 inch down from the top of the handle scale. So say 4 inches up from the bottom of the handle scale. So you got most of your weight in your handle. So it can be light. It can be fast for slashing moments. It stabs really, really well. Another thing Work Tough Gear does, now they didn't invent it, but they do it a lot, is that hidden lanyard hole on the bottom. I like that for a lot of reasons. I am not a big lanyard guy. However, if I'm going in the woods and only carrying, like, say this Red Wolf, say that's all I'm going to carry, sometimes I will take a lanyard with me because I'm going to be doing everything with this knife. And even though I get really good grip, really good purchase on the handle, a day's worth of walking in the swamps of Florida, your hands get sweaty, your hands get tired. So that hidden lanyard hole, I can put it on there, and in my hand, I don't feel like my hand, every time I put my hand on it, it's in the way. It's out of the way, and I like that a lot. You see throughout this video quite a bit of slight, just doing this. And I've told y'all before, man, I get in my own little world. But part of the reason, like right there, just doing those quick, not feather sticks, but just making little quick little shavings, I can tell a lot about a knife by that. I like to find the sweet spot. The thing is this, and I will say this, Mr. Vic does a phenomenal job from the tip all the way to the sharpening choil, making sure everything has a nice, even sharpness to it, right? You know, you don't have just sharp 3/4 of the blade. The whole thing is nice and sharp. You can use every piece of it. Here we're just doing some wire stripping. I chopped a few pieces. I've said this before. I used to do underground utility locates. Would have to strip wire back to trace a certain cable or whatever. Right now, I might have to cut extension cords at work, make some whips, or put new plugs on, whatever. It's just a cool little test. No damage. Now, let me back up. There's no visible damage to this edge. I didn't put it under a microscope. I'm just kind of looking at it. I don't see any chips. I don't see any rolls. It doesn't come with like that little wire edge. It's just done very well. And you'll notice we're this deep into the video, still cutting, still slicing, still holding up. And for me, guys, I want a knife. And I know that at a point you're going to have to sharpen a knife. I get it. That's part of life, man. There's never going to be a knife that you never have to sharpen again. That's unrealistic. But what I like about Work Tuff Gear, they do their heat treats and they use steels that are easier to sharpen. They come out well. This knife here sharpens up well. I am a huge fan of their SK85, but I really do like their K329 as well. This one comes with a super, super sharp spine. You see here, I'm just kind of shaving up some fat wood. I'm going to strike a ferro rod with them, and I'm going to be honest with you. If the blade would have been flammable, I'd have burned my damn self up. I was going to cut and edit, and I thought, no, I'm just going to show you all the full thing. It took me a minute to get the fire going, but again, that's more kind of my fault than the tool, but we got it going. Right there, just shaving up that fat wood, I can tell you with my thumb at the back, even though it is a good 90-degree spine, it's not uncomfortable. It's easy to work, very easy to manipulate. I used a lot of different, there I'm just creating some duff again with the spine. I used this knife quite a bit today in a lot of different situations. At the top of the G10, at the top of the handle scales, they do make it kind of a pinch there where the G10 goes in, kind of looks like a pinch where you can pinch grip this knife. You have plenty of options no matter how you hold the knife. You know which way the blade is oriented. I like that. It has a good little guard on it if you need to stab. I like that. And you always want to be mindful with any stabbing you do. Anyway, now, like I said, it took me a minute. I had a pretty soft ferro rod there. Kirk let me use his. I thought we had it right there. We did not. And again, that's what I'm telling you, man. If the damn thing, if the blade would have been flammable, I'd have been screwed. But right here in a second. Come on, Scabber. Put it together. Listen, guys, there was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now the holidays are coming up. So that number is going to go up. Vets, we just want you to know you're welcome here. We love you. You have a place here. That's all that means. You're not alone. We want to bring awareness to vets' issues. I back the blue. That gets me the most blowback. I understand it. That does not mean that I believe they should not be held accountable. I do. I have my reasons. I don't argue with them, and I'm not going to. Finally, if you are an addict, then I am. Never quit quitting. Real quick, guys, Blackie Thomas is recovering. You guys have answered the bell. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to put a link in the description to a GoFundMe to help Blackie. If you can help, please do. He's had a stroke. He's recovering, but it's going to be astronomical with the bill. If you can't donate, go to Blackie Thomas's channel. Watch a bunch of his videos. That helps just as much. And remember this. I'm Scab. You're not. Vic, the Red Wolf is badass, son. I'm gone.